Hey guys, it's James Wild here from wildwings.co.uk, and today we're going to be having a look at regular flat spins. So what is a flat spin? The plane is going to be rotating around this axis while descending through the sky, and in this tutorial we're going to look at upright flat spins and also inverted flat spins. So the difference between regular spins and the advanced flat spins we're going to be looking at later on is we're going to enter these spins from a stall only. So later on we're going to flick entry and we're going to spin into them, but with these stalls we're going to have nice controlled and precise movements, and we're going to come in from a stall. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to start the manoeuvre high up in the sky, because remember, while we're falling we don't have any horizontal speed, only vertical, so it's very difficult to come out of a flat spin really quickly. If you realise the ground's just below you, you're going to have a problem. So start the manoeuvre nice and high up, and you want to start into wind. So you're coming into wind at about half power, and we're going to enter this manoeuvre from a stall, as I said earlier. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce the power. So if you're coming in about half power, slowly reduce it down to idle, which is no power. Okay, and it's going to slowly come to a stop. Now, as the plane's slowing down, you want to increase the up elevator, but you want to do this slowly as well, because if you put in too much up elevator to begin with, you're going to make the plane do this sort of thing. So you just want it to come in nice and slow, reduce the power right off, while increasing the up elevator slowly, just to keep the plane level. And at some point, it's going to slow down to a stop, and then it's going to start to drop. Now, just before it drops, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put in full rudder. So let's go back. So you're coming in, reduce the power down to no power, while slowly increasing the up elevator to keep it level. Now at this point, once it's stopped, you add in full rudder. So let's say we're going to spin left to start with, up, right and left. So you're going to put full left rudder on, you're going to have full up elevator by this point, and it's going to start to drop into this spin. Now, it won't be very flat to begin with. Actually, when it starts, it will probably drop the nose, even though you've got full elevator, and go into a very, very unflat flat spin like that. The way you get it flatter is with a little bit of power and a little bit of aileron as well. Now, you've got to be careful with this manoeuvre, because if you're doing this manoeuvre for a test or to get a license, then you've got to perform it very strictly to how the rules say you have to. So do check up on the rules of this manoeuvre if you're using it for competitions or tests. But strictly speaking, you're not allowed to use the ailerons to enter this manoeuvre, only the rudder and elevator. So that's your starting point. Wait until you've got full up elevator, now add full left rudder, and we're going to go into this spin, this regular spin. Now, if you find that your plane doesn't really want to keep spinning, it sort of spins a bit and then comes out, you then need to add a little bit of aileron at that point only. So the aileron you're going to be putting on, because it's an upright flat spin, is going to be the same direction as the rudder. So you put on left rudder to start with, this got us into this spin. You're now allowed to put on a little bit of aileron, just a little bit, it'll be the left aileron, to keep it spinning like that, and you've still got your full up elevator. Now, if you want to flatten it out a little bit more, you just need to add a little bit of power, and it should start to flatten itself out nicely. Now, when you want to exit this manoeuvre, you need to reduce the power, if you've got any on, back down to idle. You need to take off the ailerons, and then you need to let the nose drop. So if it doesn't drop on its own, you need to use the elevator to push the nose down, and then you can fly out like that. What you've got to remember is that while you're spinning like this, if you let go of all the surfaces, it's going to carry on spinning for a little bit longer. So you can't just let go when you want to fly out. So if you do 2 turns, well, there's 1, here's 2, now you let go, it's not going to fly out here, it's going to carry on for a little bit more, and you'll probably end up coming out 2 1/4 turns, which you don't want to do. So remember that you're going to need to let go of all the surfaces after maybe 1 1/2 turns or 1 3/4 turns if you wanted to end up facing the same way as you came in after 2 turns. And at this point you can then dip the nose, gain some speed, and then put about half power on and pull up elevator to climb out. So that's your regular flat spin, the upright flat spin. And remember, if you're going to use the right rudder to do this flat spin, you also need to use the right aileron once you're in the spin. If you want to put a little bit of right aileron on to keep it going, then it'll be right aileron, not left, because you're using the right rudder. So now we're going to go over inverted flat spins. So it's exactly the same technique. You're going to come in inverted this time into wind, and this time we're going to reduce the power down, but applying the down elevator to keep it level. So a little bit down elevator, and when you come to a stop, full down elevator, and then put on full rudder. So you full rudder, start this spin. If you're going to add a little bit of elevator this time, it needs to be, if you're going to add a little bit of aileron this time, it needs to be the opposite to the rudder you have chosen because you are inverted now. So if you use the left rudder to start the spin, you need a little bit of right aileron to keep the spin going. And again, the same thing, if you want to let go of the surfaces in order to stop it spinning and then drop to gain your momentum and speed and then power out, you need to make sure you let go or bring the surface back to the middle point at about 1 3/4 rotations in order to come out at 2 rotations, and 2 3/4 rotations to come out at 3, etc. It's not going to be exactly 2 3/4 rotations. It will vary depending on what plane you've got, how fast you're spinning and how flat you are, and all these different things. But the key points to remember with this move is come in from a stall, reduce all your power, and then use full up elevator for the upright flat spin with full rudder to start it spinning, or if you're inverted, then it's full down elevator and full rudder to start it spinning. Great, so let's have a look at some footage. So starting off then, we're going to reduce the power back down to idle. Now you're going to apply full up elevator, and watch how the wings are starting to stall. At this point, you know to add full rudder. The plane will start to drop into this spin. Keep on the full up elevator, the full rudder. Add a little bit of power to flatten out if you like. Let go of the sticks, regain control, and fly out. So once again, power back down to idle, full up elevator. You can see it start to stall now. Full rudder. This will bring it into a spin. Count your number of spins, and about half a turn away from your final number of spins, you want to start letting go of the sticks. So if you want to do 3 full spins, then at about 2 to 2.5 spins, you need to be letting go of the sticks. It will then continue round for the extra half a spin, and then you can pull out and apply the power. For the inverted flat spin, it's exactly the same concept. You come in inverted using the down elevator to keep level flight, bring the power down to idle, watch for the wings starting to stall, then apply full rudder and drop into a spin. Just like all the other manoeuvres you've been learning so far, it's best to learn this one in both directions. So start by learning a spin with full left rudder, and then learn the spin with full right rudder. So if you want to perform this manoeuvre for precision aerobatics, then this is the way I'd recommend performing it. However, if you want to add a bit more freestyle to aerobatics, then check out the advanced tutorials where I show you how to enter the manoeuvre in far more interesting ways.